Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Samuel Asom. So in this video we are going to look at um, config maps and secrets. So far in our journey we have learned deployment. We have seen that stateful sets manages pod and deployment also manages pods. We have also seen how services expose pods and route traffic, and we've also seen HPA. We've seen that HPA scales pods automatically. But here's a very quick question to answer. How do we configure applications without rebuilding container images every time? Because hard coding values like database URLs, hard coding values like passwords, environment variables in your container is a very bad practice. So you want to separate your application code from its configuration. All right, so Kubernetes provides config maps and secrets for this exact reason. So let us take them one after the other. What are config maps? So config map is used to store non-sensitive data. Config map is used to store non-sensitive configuration data. So examples are application properties, environment variables, config files. All right. Secret is used to store most sensitive data. So with secret, you can store more sensitive um, all right. So things like your passwords, your tokens, API keys, all right. So they can be stored as secrets. And secret is base 64 encoded, although it is optionally encrypted at rest depending on your cluster setup. All right, so it protects secrets from being visible in plain YAML. Now let us look at the key differences. With When you are using configuration map or config map rather, the purpose for config map is to store non-sensitive config files. All right, but with secrets you can store sensitive data. We've looked at examples already. Now, the encoding type of config map is plain text, all right? But for secret is base 64 encoded. Config map is not encrypted. Config map is not encrypted, but secret is encoded and can also be encrypted. So you can think of a config map as your settings.json and a secret as your password vault. So it's as simple as that. All right, so let us see how. Again, you can go to the Kubernetes documentation and find out more about config map and secret. But this is how a config map resource file looks like. All right. So this is the API version config map belongs to. The kind of object we are creating is config map, and this is the name our config map is going to assume. All right. So I don't have a a namespace. We are going to create a namespace. Now, the data section is where you can describe your data. All right. Now, the data section is a key value pair. So this is basically a key value pair of configuration, a key value pair for configuration. All right. So this is a key database URL, and this is what the value. All right. So you can pass this to your application at runtime. This is also a key application mode and development. So we are going to see how this guy works. So now, if I exit this, first I'm going to create a namespace, kubectl create namespace dev. So I have a development namespace now. So I can apply kubectl apply F. So our config map has been created. All right. So if I do kubectl get config map, then the name of our config map is app config in the dev namespace. So we have two datas, which was the database URL and the app mode. All right, so this is the name. Can also describe it. So if we describe it, we should see more details about our config map. All right, so if we check, these are all in plain text. All right, they are all in plain text. It is not encrypted. Okay, so to see the contents, you can also use describe to see the contents, but to see the contents, you can use kubectl get config map. All right, the name of the config map, which is app config, then def, then -o as output, then we output it as. So this is the details, database URL, and this guy. All right, so let us look at secrets. Okay, before then, let us look at how we can pass a config map in deployment. So a config map is passed as in the spec section of the deployment. All right, so obviously it's going to be passed in the environment section. So if you set the environment key, so your container dot environment, so this is going to set environment variables in the container. Then we have value from. So value from config map ref, value from config map ref reference to the values in the config map, all right, and the name of your config map. So value from config map ref dot name, you reference to the config map name, and the config map name is what app config. We saw it. Then the key to use, this is where you reference the key. So which key from the config map are you using? So you reference the key here, and the same thing here. All right, so let us apply this deployment. So if I do kubectl apply -f config map deployment, all right, so if I do ls, sorry, kubectl get ports, I should see that I have by sorry. Let us confirm the namespace. All right, okay. The dev namespace. So if I do kubectl get ports, kubectl get ports in the dev namespace. All right, so I have one port running. So let us exec into this port. So kubectl exec -it, the name of the port, and -n def /bin/bash. All right, so we are in the port container. So if I do echo, one of the key we had was application mode. So if I do echo app mode, so we have development. So this is how your config map is referenced to your deployment, and this is how environment variables are used in runtime. So let us look at secrets. So we have nano. So we have a file here. So the secret is almost the same thing as config map. So we are creating a secret object. This is a name the secret is going to assume, app secret, and we are creating it in the development namespace. Now, the type of encryption we are using is what? Opaque. Now, this is the data we are simply creating. Like, it's also a key value pair, just like what we saw with config map. So we only have one data here, which is database password, and this is the value. All right, so let us apply this secret. So if I do kubectl apply -f app secret, and if I do kubectl get secret, the name of the secret is app secret -n def. All right, so I have a secret and the type is opaque, and the data there is just one. So we saw it. So let us describe this secret. If I describe this secret, data is base 64 encoded. All right, data is base 64 encoded. So it is not human readable directly. The secret is not human readable directly. So you can do kubectl get secret. Then the name of the secret is app secret in the dev namespace -o. So if we do this, if kubectl all right, so if we want to upload this, you will see that this guy is what? Still base 64 encoded, and the type is what? Opaque. So if we want to view this in a human readable form, I can do, instead of YAML file, I'm going to output it as a JSON path. So JSON path is equal to .data .db password, because we had a key, just one key, which is db password And we are going to output it as what? Base 64, because we encoded it as base 64. So base 64. So we are going to see the contents because we have decrypted it to base 64. So we have other secret types, not just opaque. So opaque is the generic base 64 encoded secret. All right. So we can use our secrets in what's a deployment. So let us look at how secrets are passed in deployment. So it's still the same thing we saw with config maps. So the spec dot containers dot environment variable dot name. So the name is what? You can assume any name here, but it's taking the value from what? Secret key ref, and the name of the secret is what? App secrets, and the key we are taking the value from is what? DB password. So that is how to reference a secret. So that means if I do kubectl apply -f secret deployment.yaml, then our deployment has been configured with the secret. So understand that config maps are used for non-sensitive configs. Secrets are used for sensitive data base, and it is base 64 encoded. That is the generic type. All right. So it is referenced in the environment variables, or you can even mount it as a file. So please keep your configs and secrets out of your container images because it is easier to manage and also easier to secure this way. So for your practice, you can create a config map with a multiple config values, reference the config map in a deployment just like we have done in the environment section. All right. Then also create a secret, repeat, exec into pods to see the values and verify. So we've understood how Kubernetes separates configuration from code and how secrets keep your sensitive data safe. If you have stayed with me up to this point, then thank you very much. If you have any question concerning this concept, please do well to drop it in the comment section. I am going to reply to the comments and also answer your question. So please, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do well to subscribe and like this video, comment, share with your friends. I'll see you in the next video.